Welcome to our session today. We're going to be covering the Forrester New Wave. My name is Ken Stevens. I'm a senior sales engineer for Trend Micro Canada. I'm also our XDR champion and our Vision 1 project lead. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Lori Smith. Lori, if you want to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Sure. So I'm part of the global product marketing team and the product marketing lead for our XDR capabilities and our Trend Micro Vision 1 platform, and I'm based out of Ottawa.
Awesome. Thanks for being with us today. So, Lori, what is this new Forrester Wave all about, and how is it different from the previous waves?
So this is the first extended detection and response, or XDR wave, for Forrester. And in fact, it's the first of, Forrester's the first of the main industry analyst firms to do a vendor evaluation exclusively on the XDR market category. And so a new wave, as they call it, assesses emerging technologies for a new market category. And so this evaluation looks at a vendor's ability to offer cross-telemetry detection, investigation, and response. So vendors in this wave would have some level of capability, and there is quite a range, of being able to integrate non-endpoint or non-EDR telemetry, whether that be email, network, cloud, or others, and to do so either via integration with its own native security stack or through other approaches like third-party integration. So it's all about expanding the data sources to have a broader detection and response capability.
Awesome. That's awesome. So can you talk a little bit about a couple of the highlights that from Trend Micro from the report?
Yeah, happy to, because we're very proud to have done so well. We're one of only 2 leaders for this evaluation, showing that for most, it's still sort of very nascent capabilities for XDR right now. We ranked highest overall for our current product offering. And while there are some others that were equal to us, no one was ahead in terms of overall strategy. In a new wave, Forrester assesses each evaluation category based on if the solution was differentiated, on par, needs improvement, or missing. And we're really proud to say that of the 7 out of 10 evaluation categories, Trend Micro was assessed as being differentiated from the others in the evaluation, and we were on par for the other 3.
Oh, this is great. This is awesome. So why do you believe we did so well in this first wave? Like, what from the Trend Micro side made us so, obviously see the value in us on the Forrester side?
Yeah, for a few points, I would say. So right now there's sort of the market's quite divided. As you can see from these tweets from Ali Mellon, who was the analyst author of this Forrester New Wave. There's a real difference between those that are leaders in XDR versus others that may be only entering the space. And we were one of the first to introduce an XDR solution. So we've not only introduced, but been able to mature our solution. So that's afforded us the opportunity to have some key advantages against the competition and really sort of live up to the hype. So as I mentioned, we were rated differentiated for 7 of the 10 evaluation categories. So really mature product capabilities across some key areas like visibility and detection, investigation, threat hunting. And part of that is because of our architecture and our approach that we're taking to XDR. As the XDR market evolves, there are different flavors of XDR. Solution providers are taking different approaches. In particular, many are looking at XDR as an extension of EDR. So really still focused on that endpoint. and looking at ingesting additional data sources as a way to validate and enhance that endpoint detection. So still really sort of starting and ending with the endpoint. What makes us different is that we've built an XDR platform, an analytics detection model, investigation views, response options that apply to each of the individual layers, as well as sort of that cross-layer correlated approach. And so not just looking at additional data sources to support endpoint detections, but looking at separate and cross and correlated detection, investigation, and response natively across endpoint, cloud, email, and network. The other thing I would say is our strong customer support. That was something that really came through in this evaluation. If you read our profile and some of the customer quotes, they talked about the customer's confidence in our product efficacy, as well as our above and beyond customer support. And the last thing I would say that's really a differentiator is that, we're a vendor that we certainly have and are invested in third-party integrations, but where possible, we're leveraging our own native security stack for our XDR solution. And we're not only a leader in XDR, but those building blocks, those products that feed into the platform, we're industry leaders in those spaces as well. This is just an example from Forrester Wave evaluations, but we have other proof points. Just speaking to the fact that we can leverage our product differentiation on each of the product know-how on each of the individual areas that are the foundation for our Vision One platform.
Oh, these are great. These are great building blocks, right, for building the strategy out. And so why should our customers and clients be excited about this new platform?
Mm-hmm. So, as I said, one of the things has been a key thing for us that was, validated with this wave is about being able to deliver value to our customers. I mean, that's what it's all about. And so this wave is another proof point. It builds on and validates, the other sort of resources we've seen. We've got, a series of customer case studies and quotes and experiences speaking to their experience. We've had other industry analyst validations and have worked with different research firms. ESG is particular. We've done research with them that has provided insights on the economic value that Vision One can provide an organization and the ROI. We've seen, strong results from product testing, like MITRE evaluations, for example. So all of this comes together to really provide confidence in our solution and the Vision One platform.
No, it really does. And this is great for our customers and clients. And so how is Trend Micro going to help clients gain more value from Vision One?
I mean, that's the beauty of the platform, taking a platform approach, right? So we've got this technology foundation where we can build on that to expand the value that we can bring to customers. And so we're continuing to innovate by introducing new XDR sensors, additional third-party integrations, and then importantly, new applications that can serve, complementary or XDR adjacent use cases for organizations, so they can really expand how they use the platform, and it provides a solution path to being a broader threat defense platform. If we look at, for one example, what we're doing with our Zero Trust Risk Insight, right? This is capitalizing on all the data that's being gathered and being able to assess the risk within customers' environments. So, and even providing sort of an overall risk score based on, factors such as XDR detections, vulnerabilities, cloud app activity, account compromise, right? Taking all of this information, doing some weighted scoring, and providing a view and some trending of what is their security posture, and comparing that to, you know, peers in the industry or industry vertical. So it's all about, you know, providing a way for organizations to effectively and quickly understand the risks in their environment and what needs immediate attention.
Oh, it does. And this is a good use of the XDR data lake, right? Zero trust is a hot topic today, right?
Yeah.
We see lots of organizations start to revisit this concept as they look at access control, right? And having all the data in that data lake, you know, allows customers to make intelligent decisions when it comes to accessing their particular resources. This is awesome. This is great value for our customers. And so, Lori, that was great insight into the report. Do you have any final thoughts or information you would like to share?
Just that we're really proud of the results, and this has been, you know, not only just this wave result, but, you know, Vision One in its entirety has been a company-wide accomplishment. And I mean, this is Vision One is a strategic corporate priority for the organization. So really, everyone in the company is invested in supporting our strategy and our development. And so it's so nice to see these kind of results come out and sort of show benefit for all the effort involved as a result.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome, Lori. No, thank you for your insight today. I'm going to open the floor up to the audience to see if they want to ask any questions here. If you'd like to ask a question, you can either, you know, unmute yourself, or you can use the chat window. But we're just going to open the floor up, and we'll take some questions here if there are any to be asked. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's any questions there, but Lori, I'm going to ask you one anyway. So
Okay.
from a technology approach, you know, lots of customers, they have SIEM tools today, and what differentiates why they should look at something like Vision One if they have a SIEM tool today?
Yeah, we get that question a lot, and there is sort of confusion in terms of where it sits. And I sort of have, it depends, right? It depends on the organization. It depends if they're already using a SIEM solution, how they're using it within their organization. We see larger organizations with sort of more mature security processes that have already built a level of an XDR competency using SIEM and API integration to other, you know, areas. In those situations, you know, a solution like Vision One becomes providing incremental value, right? It can fit within that ecosystem and within those workflows. We have ability to, you know, send our correlated detections into the SIEM, and companies can continue to use their SIEM and see the trend detections. What's nice is that all of that correlated activity is happening within Vision One, and so what's being sent to the SIEM is not just the individual, you know, detection logs, but the correlated alerts. And so we are reducing what is going into the SIEM, which can help on the triage side of things. And then within, you know, we've got, you know, out of the box SIEM connectors, for example, with Splunk. And so you can see an alert, click on a trend alert, and it takes you directly into the Vision One platform to do the full investigation within our console. For those that may not have already invested in a SIEM, Vision One can become that central location for bringing in all that data and obviously being, you know, the place for their detection and response capabilities. We certainly serve that threat detection and response use case of a SIM. We don't go into areas like more of the compliance and regulation use cases that a SIM would do. So depending on what the needs are, there's sort of a complementary or in place of value proposition.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great analogy for sure on how we can complement their current solutions that they have in place. And we just got a question from Jackie here asking about telemetry and that they bolted in their deep discovery inspector in Division 1 and want to see more information. So I'll actually address this one, Lori. So
Yeah,
she's asking just about, they're asking about how can we get more information in Division 1. So the biggest benefit would be to bring in the XDR sensors, both on the endpoint and server side, to see visibility of activity happening, such as file and URL activity and command line activity going on in the environment. And the biggest benefit is having that data lake to not only run analytics against, but give you the ability to go back and search so that if you think an incident has happened or you're trying to investigate a breach, you have access to the activity in the environment, just not the alerts that would come from those protection products. And you're saying that, yeah, and other data sources we can bring in. If you bring in that XDR data, you can also bolt in things like Azure AD to gain visibility into user activity. Okta is also supported today. And seeing that can also play into the zero trust that we have today. And the question here is about licenses. So basically it's per device. So it's if you buy with our current subscription based, it's a user, right? A user is a user. So we do license by user when it comes to endpoints. When it comes to servers, it's per server licensing. But it all depends on how you want to get in. You don't have to buy the whole meal deal to get in. This can be, like Lori said, this can be a la carte. You can start with one sensor, and really what XDR is about multiple sensors feeding, so you can get to that point. And the strategy with our platform allows you to do that. You can test email, you can test network, you can test XDR sensors. So yeah, Jackie, we can reach out and have a conversation about how to get those sensors in place and have you see more activity in Vision 1. But the biggest benefit to DDI is you might not see it if there's no activity that's really benign or malicious on the network. Is there's correlation that happens in the background. So when an incident does happen, the value of your deep discovery inspector plugged in Division 1 is really we can do network analytics as a service in that console, which is where we visualize those raw logs from your DDI into a picture and allow you to see the attack happen, right? Those raw logs become visual and allow you to understand it much more quickly through the visual presentation than a raw log like a CSV file. So there's quite a bit of value there.
I would add to that, just when you said visualize, that's been the #1 customer sort of comment and feedback in terms of the value that they've seen is being able to visualize that attack and what were the steps and you know, comments like it paints a picture, it builds the story, I mean, it presents data in a way that you can understand it.
Yeah, very true. Very true. You know, visualizing the attack from email to endpoint to possibly touching your cloud infrastructure, right, to even going to your OT network and being able to see that all within one single picture and understand the objects along the way can serve you dividends, especially if you need to respond to that activity. You understand what's happened, you can contain it, right? And you can completely eradicate it. And XDR is going to give you that confidence that you've gotten it out, right? There's no reoccurrence going to happen after this incident. You've recorded everything. So visualizing is huge. Our customers seem to enjoy that, right? Those high fidelity alerts that have been visualized for them, allowing them to understand the attack much quicker, right? Mm-hmm. And have a handle on the objects they really need to focus on. All right. From there, I think there's just one question around the sensors. They do send their data directly to Vision 1. That architecture is direct. Those sensors have a service built in, which will send the data right to the data lake directly today. But we're going to work on more advanced architectures as we go, deal with more advanced use cases. But today, the architecture as it is delivered directly. And with that, I think if there's no other questions from any of the audience, I think we can wrap this session up. And Lori, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you being here today. and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all.